system, looking at some of these yield goal factors for recommendations. From a historical perspective, there's been a series of factors, any from 1.2 to 1.5 pounds N per bushel. Subtract from that any other nitrogen contributions in the system. To accommodate our site-specific recommendation program, we adopted a system that uses yield goal times a per bushel factor minus soil organic matter contribution, plus any additional credits. So our recommendation can be written as follows: NREC equals yield goal times 1.2 minus soil organic matter times 20 pounds of N for every percent of organic matter, and subtract from that any additional N credits. So when we look at this a little deeper, where does 1.2 come from? Well, I looked at the lab analysis for the last 5 years for grain corn and divided the protein by 6.25 to get an N factor. And that's about 0.77 pounds N per bushel on average, with a range of plus or minus 0.09. So let's dig a little deeper into that. So if I look at that range, it means that nitrogen content per bushel ranges from 0.68 to 0.86 pounds of N. So if you look at a 200 bushel corn crop, that means in the grain, it will contain between 136 and 172 pounds of N. So that's in the grain. If we consider a harvest index of 0.6, which means 60% of the N that the crop takes up will be in the grain, that means we must have supplied 210 to 286 pounds of N per acre. So the question now becomes is how much of that N comes from commercial nitrogen and how much comes from soil organic matter or other sources. So that's where we took the median value of 1.2 to do our calculation. So putting it all together, if we look at a 200 bushel corn crop and soil organic matter at 3.5%, it would require close to 170 pound N recommendation, and from that we would subtract any starter N or any additional pre-plant N or other sources of nitrogen such as legumes or manure credits. So that this system allows us to incorporate our site-specific information, so we can use normalized yield maps to establish productive capacity or yield goals across the field, use our soil organic matter layer for nitrogen credits, and any other N sources that would be in the system, we can account for that as well. So that produces a base for our variable rate application maps. There are a few other factors, one in particular that needs to be considered. We'll cover that at another time. So thanks for listening. Stay healthy and stay safe.